Right, good day, grade 11s. We're going to be looking at stress management. And some of the things we're going to be exploring is what is stress, how can we manage stress, and why is stress management so important in the workplace. So I don't know about you, but this picture really depicts what I look like sometimes and how my children say I behave. When I'm stressed, I need more coffee, I can't think straight, and everything just goes out the window. So what is stress? Stress is the wear and tear on our bodies, and we experience this wear and tear as we adjust to our changing environments. It has a physical and an emotional effect on us, but it can also create a positive or a negative experience. As a positive influence, stress can help force us into action. Think of getting ready to run a race. Your heart starts beating faster because you're stressed and you have the adrenaline running through your body. As a negative influence, stress can result in feelings of distrust, rejection, anger, and even depression. This can also lead to health problems such as headaches, insomnia, high blood pressure, heart disease. Changes in a working environment, such as a job promotion or a change in the description of the job you need to do, can contribute to stress as we readjust our lives. So think of when you change teachers from one year to the next. It is stressful because you are still trying to figure out how this teacher operates. So I want you just to think for a few moments, what are the causes of stress in your life? Is it your health? Is it the possibility of thinking of your future? Is it the exams coming up? Is it making that first team? In the work environment, stress is often caused by being overworked or overloaded, or long working hours so you don't get time with your family. Or it could be an incompetent manager or incompetent subordinates, which means you now have more work to do. So how does one go about managing your stress? Well, it's important to identify unrelieved stress and being aware of its effect on our lives. Managing stress requires working towards change, changing the source of the stress and/or changing our response to it. So you need to identify the stress factors in your life, how your body responds to stress. I know when I'm very stressed, I lose my appetite completely. You also need to think about what stresses can you avoid or eliminate. So if there is a work colleague who just sends you over the edge, avoid them. So become aware of your stresses. One can deal with stresses in the following way. Notice your distress, don't ignore it. Determine what events distress you. What are you telling yourself about these events? So think of a test that's coming up. Do you stress out before it? Why? Is this going to help you remember the information? Possibly not. Determine how your body responds to the stress. Do you become nervous or do you become physically upset and anger wells up inside you? Start recognizing what you can change. Can you change your stresses by avoiding or eliminating them? Can you manage them over a longer period instead of on a daily or weekly basis? Can you shorten your exposure to stress by taking a break or moving away from the place that is causing stress, such as leaving the office or going for a walk? Can you devote the time and energy necessary to make a change by applying techniques such as goal setting, time management, and creative problem solving? So we're still on the topic of how to manage your stress. Another way to do this is to reduce the intensity of your emotional reactions to stress. Don't exaggerate your stresses. For example, viewing any difficult situation as an absolute disaster. Don't attempt to please everyone all the time. Do not overreact and view everything as absolutely critical and urgent. You should not feel you must always succeed in every situation. Adopt more moderate views. Try to see the stress as something you can cope with rather than something that overpowers you. Do not dwell on the negative aspects and the what ifs. Learn to control your physical reactions to stress. Slow, deep breathing will return your heart rate and respiration to normal. When you breathe in, fill out your lungs, and when you breathe out, blow it all out. And do this 5 times, nice and slowly. Relaxation techniques can reduce muscle tension. Medication, when prescribed by a physician, can help in the short term, but learning to control your physical reactions to stress is the preferable long-term solution. The next way to manage your stress is to build your physical resources. Exercise 3 to 4 times a week. Eat well-balanced, nutritious meals. Maintain your ideal weight. Avoid nicotine, excessive caffeine, and other stimulants. Mix work with leisure, take breaks, and get away whenever you can, and get enough sleep. Lastly, manage your emotional reserves. Develop mutually supportive friendships or relationships with people that you trust. Pursue realistic goals that are meaningful to you rather than goals that your parents have set. Expect some frustration, failures, and sorrows. This is life. But know where to ask for help if you have a setback. And lastly, always be kind and gentle to yourself. I want to speak to you about optimal stress. Stress is good, and there is an optimal stress that allows us to perform at our highest level. And if you look at this graph in front of you, you can see that when we're between a moderate and high level of pressure, that is when we actually perform at our highest. So a little bit of stress is not good for you either, because then you become bored. But too much stress pushes you over the edge into a burnout stage. There is no single stress level that is optimal for all people. We are all individuals with unique requirements. What is stressful for one person may be a joy to another. For example, I loved writing exams, and my sons don't. The person who enjoys moving from job site to job site might be stressed in a job that is stable and routine. The person who thrives under stable conditions would very likely be stressed on a job where duties were highly varied. Personal stress requirements and the amount that we can tolerate changes with age too. If you experience stress symptoms, you have gone beyond your optimal stress level. You need to reduce the stress in your life and/or improve your ability to manage it. And lastly, maintaining a balanced lifestyle. To maintain a balanced lifestyle, you need to find the right mix between work and play. You can only push yourself so far. Thereafter, you're busy burning yourself out. You could try one of the following actions. Take up a hobby. Do something different, such as gardening, painting, or going to the movies. Spend more time with family and friends. Eat healthy food. Engage in regular exercise. Relax and do quiet activities. And I'm just going to share a very personal story. So 4 or 5 years ago, I was in a high position in terms of management, and I worked a strong 12 hours a day, and I was doing this for over 2.5 years. And it got to the point where my health was suffering, I wasn't exercising, I hardly saw my family, I'd come home late at night, I wouldn't sign their homework, and I would just be very angry the whole time and anxious. And I got to the realization that my life was out of balance. And so I had to resign to ensure that I had time to do all the things that one needs in order to maintain a balanced lifestyle. Let's hope one day you're able to keep it at an optimal level of stress and maintain a balanced lifestyle.